So my name is Gonzo247. I'm an artist here in the city of Houston. I was born and raised in the east end part of town. And ever since I was a kid, I always knew I was artistically inclined. My parents immigrated here from Mexico, so I'm the first generation born here. And before I say I'm Mexican or before I say I'm American, I say I'm 100% Texan. Growing up, being interested in this creative thing called art, in my neighborhood at the time, there really wasn't any public art. Thankfully, there was one mural. We didn't know anything about museums or art galleries or where to access art, and all we had was whatever we ran across. And in my neighborhood on Canal Street, that one mural, like I would get excited knowing we were going to drive by it. And so it really set me on this trajectory of I like art, and I don't understand any of this, but I mean the content was way over my head, but the scale of it really left an impression on me. And I was like, one day I would really love to do something like that. In 1979, 1980, I was driving in the neighborhood with my dad and listening to the radio, and all of a sudden I started to hear this crazy sound coming out of the speakers. It was called rap music. Back in those days, it was trickling in from the East Coast, and I had never heard any music like that. And so that everyone else hated it, so I was like, yes, made me love it even more. Rap introduced me to this thing called the hip hop culture. And there's the music, the MC, the DJ, the b-boy, and then graffiti is the visual language of hip hop. And so once I saw graffiti and what it was, and once I saw who was doing it, and I knew and I saw that it was kids that were my age, and they looked like me, and they're bombing subway trains with spray paint, and I was like, yes, that's what I want to do. And what really broke down the barrier is I could relate with the artist, and also seeing that they were using spray paint. I didn't know what a brush was, I didn't know what an acrylic was or an oil was, but everyone knows what spray paint is. And so my dad had a garage full of spray paint, and I grabbed a can of paint. I thought of this idea, I saw a piece of plywood, and within seconds I was able to manifest this thing. And once I did it, I was like, this is my ticket, this is my vehicle. Now I felt like I could be creative, and so that kind of started my journey into this bigger picture of art. So fast forward, that one mural in that neighborhood really inspired me and a lot of other younger people to pursue this thing called art. And looking back as an older person now, and seeing the significance of what that one mural had did for me and for the neighborhood, I thought to myself, if one mural could do that, what would two murals do in that neighborhood? What would three do to inspire the community? What would 100 do for the city? And so that kind of started to generate this idea of how can we bring more murals onto the city streets. In 2013, I worked on what's now known as the Houston is Inspired mural in downtown, and the feedback that we got from that mural was more than we could have ever imagined. And once we saw how everyone was really accepting of it, that's really what sparked the idea of hey, if we can do all this and create all this appreciation for street art and graffiti art with one mural in downtown, then let's see how we can put together some kind of mural festival so that we can produce several walls at the same time and work with different artists. And that was the birth of the HUE Mural Festival. HUE stands for Houston Urban Experience. Our goal has always been to spread the love and try to create these epicenters of street art culture and kind of plant these seeds in different parts of the city and then grow from there. We've had great partners, community partners along the way, AmCap being a great supporter from the very beginning. And when you have an opportunity to work with companies and organizations that see a bigger picture and see that what they can contribute is going to go forward and then inspire a community and raise the quality of life, those are the type of partnerships that we value, because in the end we're all helping each other to make a better Houston. For me, the idea that a kid is going to be driving and they're going to look out and see a mural, something inspiring, and then not just once, but several times throughout whatever route or journey they're on. We always like to work with local artists because we feel that Houston, the talent here can compete with any other city around the world. So we work with local, national, regional, and international artists. So we like to bring people to Houston to experience what Houston has to offer, and vice versa. We like to show the world what Houston's all about. So this is, I think, our fourth iteration of the Mural Festival, and we're really bringing more color to the city streets and adding to that visual tapestry of what makes Houston really unique and dynamic. And we're looking forward to growing bigger. We're looking forward to continuing our partnerships like with AmCap. And hopefully next time around, we'll have big water bottles with the AmCap logo on it and just really spread more of that love.